Have you ever looked up at the towering giant adults in your life and wondered, why did I get paired up with these two specifically? For a long time, we've assumed the relationship is a simple one. The adults are the finished products, the all-knowing masters, and they use discipline to mold a blank slate child into a specific shape. But if we look closer at how families actually function, we can see a much more complex and interesting dynamic hidden beneath the surface. In this relationship, the smallest person in the room often holds the key to the adult's own personal development. Parenting is a shared evolution, a mutual metamorphosis where two individuals grow and change right alongside each other. To understand how this works, we must see the child as a kind of magic mirror. This diagram shows the true nature of that reflection. When the adult looks into the glass their child is holding up, the mirror reveals the adult's own unhealed emotional wounds from when they were small. This explains why a perfectly normal childhood behavior, like being a little too noisy, can suddenly cause an adult to experience a wave of intense, irrational anger. The parent feels an old surge of helplessness or anxiety from their own past and mistakenly directs that frustration at whoever happens to be standing in front of them. In these moments of conflict, the child's behavior is simply the catalyst that reveals the parent's unresolved history. This graphic tracks two very different types of development. On the left, we see physical height, which is easy to measure. But on the right, that pulsing light represents our internal emotional growth, a process that doesn't always keep pace with how tall we get. As the light flickers, we see the parent's automatic, reactive habits taking over. These are the moments when a grown adult's internal pilot light starts to dim, and they begin to act out old patterns they learned long ago. Most adults carry these stalled areas of emotional growth because they were raised in environments with rigid rules that didn't allow them to fully explore their own feelings. Because children are so naturally authentic and loud, they constantly bump into these hidden, sensitive spots in the parent's psyche. Every difficult outburst provides a map, showing the parent exactly where their own maturity and healing need attention. Of course, this internal work is tested in the messiest parts of daily life, usually on a Tuesday night in a living room covered in toys. When a tantrum begins, the living room transforms into a vital classroom, with the child serving as the unwitting teacher. A spilled cup of sticky juice is a pop quiz for the parent's emotional regulation, measuring how they handle their own internal reaction to the mess. To pass the test, the parent has to learn to pause. They look inward at their own rising heat, instead of lashing out at the child who dropped the cup. This is how consciousness is practiced, one small, frustrating moment at a time, right in the middle of family life. It's natural for parents to worry that these strong emotional reactions are evidence that they are failing their children. Success in this journey is measured by awareness. It's about noticing those reactive loops, owning the mistake, and choosing to act differently next time. There is a massive shift the moment a parent catches themselves about to yell, takes a breath, and chooses to offer compassion instead. That single act of self-correction replaces an old system of control with a new dynamic of deep reciprocal respect. Parent and child move forward as spiritual partners, using the highs and lows of life to elevate each other toward a truer state of being.